Welcome guys to yet another episode on the rarest birds in the Netherlands and Western Palearctic. Week 31 of 2024, and in this episode I got 2 lifers. And to put that into perspective, last year I only got 4 in a whole year. So let's get into it. We start as per usual with the waterfowl, which in this episode only contain both lesser scorps, both birds still in eclipse plumage. In August, chances of getting a little bit on a nocturnal recording are increasing, and although you can't tick a bird you haven't observed yourself, it is interesting to know how often they are picked up during migration in the Netherlands. Here on screen, I first have the maps of both the black-crowned night heron and black stork of last week and now this week to see the changes. Only the first day of the week 2 glossy ibises were seen in Flevoland. From the 29th, only 1 was left. On the 30th, 1 turned up in Utrecht. And on the 31st, 1 in Zeeland. On the 2nd of August, 1 was found in South Holland, which proved to be a real crowd puller, as is often with birds in South Holland. And here, on screen, we both have the pectoral and marsh sandpiper. In the last videos, I wished for a Siberian sandplower to be seen in the Netherlands. 2 were seen in Scandinavia, 1 in Finland and 1 in Sweden. Could be the same bird, but nonetheless, it could be possible they move south and turn up in the Wadden Sea for us to twitch it. But instead, we got a greater sandplower. This bird was only available to the finder and 1 birder living on the island. This is the 21st record for the Netherlands of a species that on average is seen once every 2 years. In 2021 I filmed this species, but it later turned out I had my settings wrong. I had it on HD instead of 4K, so I was only getting a quarter of the amount of pixels available. Last year I found one myself on May 1st in the Lauwersmeer, but it sadly flew off as soon as I realized what it was, so I didn't get any footage of it. It wasn't all doom and gloom however, because I got a new species for my Dutch list this week with a collared pratincool in South Holland. First reported as collared, black-winged or oriental pratincool, it was soon identified as a black-winged pratincool. But this turned out to be erroneous, as flight shots showed reddish underwing coverts and a white trailing edge to the secondaries. This excludes black-winged pratincool, as they have, as the name suggests, black underwing coverts. And although oriental pratincool can have a small light edge to the secondaries, the tail projection and amount of red on the bill base clearly exclude the species. Sadly, after the bird was identified to the correct species, it was only twitchable for a short amount of time, with most of that time only visible foraging high in the sky. I was incredibly lucky to get it, as I would never have been on time if I got in the car the news broke it was a collared. It is that I also would love to get better footage of black-winged that I decided to collared pratincool breeds in southern Europe, east to western Asia and also in parts of North Africa. This will be the 26th record for the Netherlands, with the last twitchable dating from 2015, as that one was found on the opposite side of the country. I skipped it, thinking it would only be a couple of years before another one would be twitchable. I was starting to regret that decision and had to wait a total of 9 years. With the gyrfalcon from past winter, the second bird I could finally see after skipping the last twitchable one. The American golden plover from the Lauwersmeer was only reported on the 31st. On the 31st, in Zeeland, we had a double mega with the 7th spotted sandpiper for the Netherlands. The first twitchable one, which was the 3rd record back then, was also found in Zeeland. Sadly, while we were there, the bird sat at a huge distance and also with backlight, so no identifiable features are visible in my shots. I guess you just have to take my word for it, we actually saw the right bird, which was confirmed by scope views. This time, however, the spotted sandpiper was only a bonus species, as in the same province the second red-wattled lapwing resurfaced. Of course, at the time we didn't know it was already seen on Vlieland, as that observation was only uploaded after the bird had been found in Zeeland. The bird was seen until the morning of the 2nd. On the 4th, it resurfaced on the Isle of Ameland, which is on the other side of the country and close to Vlieland, so the bird made it back and forth through our country. Some quick deciding Frisian twitchers decided to rent a water taxi and twitch the bird successfully in the evening. The next day it was gone. If you want to know more about where the species is from and also some history about the first record, then watch the previous episode about week 30. And if you want to see a vlog about the twitch to the collared pratincool, spotted sandpiper and red-watered lapwing, I have it linked at the end of the video, so you can watch that one next. Last week I asked the question how many more white-rimmed sandpipers we would see. Turned out quite a lot. On the 2nd of August, the first one was found in a pond on the Frisian salt marshes. The next day one was found at Texel, but the next day was the biggest with a total of 3 birds on the Frisian side of the Wadden Sea, with 2 together at Zwarte Haan. Third time in history 2 were seen together. Probably the bird from the 2nd is one of the 2 birds seen on the 4th, and the bird from Texel could also have relocated to the Frisian side of the Wadden Sea, but 3 different birds is a minimum. On the 3rd, a Terek sandpiper joined the wader party. It was present for 2 days. Although I was in the neighborhood, I didn't bother to go for it, as the bird was far away, so I wouldn't get any better shots than I already have of the species. Instead, I was filming another species. But for that adventure, you have to wait to the end of August, because in the month of August I'm trying to film some typical summer species here in the Netherlands. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you don't miss it. The sole broad-billed sandpiper of the week was a bird present at the hotspot for the species in northeast Groningen. Red-necked phalaropes showed up at the following spots. The highest number of birds together were 2 at Den Helder. This week gave 2 observations of hoopoe, both were flybys which weren't twitchable. Close to the spot of the red-watered lapwing, a group of maximum 19 bee-eaters were reported. I myself saw 16, but only at a very large distance. Others were seen in Utrecht, Limburg and North Brabant. On the 3rd, something unbelievable happened. Yet another blue-cheeked bee-eater was found, this one at Wageningen. The observer wasn't even aware he saw something interesting. He thought he saw a kingfisher, but friends of him told him it was something very rare. Sadly, news broke in the evening and the first option to go looking for it was next morning, but sadly, the bird was gone. Aquatic warblers were found at 4 different locations this week, as can be seen on this map. Sadly, I still lack footage of this species. Will I get some this year? I sure will try. For the Western Palearctic news, we have yet another Ardoin's gull in Poland on the 30th of July, a nice adult this time. On the 1st of August, Ireland got a red-necked stint, which remains a real mega throughout the Western Palearctic. Both the last record for Ireland and the Netherlands date from 2011. That bird I saw and filmed, which you can see here on screen, but it is sure due for improvement. Will history repeat? Stay tuned. We then remain in Ireland because it had the best sea watching in history on the 4th. First, a Barolus shearwater was picked up flying past the bridges of Ross, then another one, and finally a third one. Or maybe the same bird flying in circles? But in the afternoon, it even got better with this South Polar skua, filmed by Brian McCloskey. Note the more Pormarine skua-like build, the clean greyer underparts and the light head. For part 3 of the video, the predictions, I don't yet have the history-based predictions for week 34, as that will come with my video I upload on Sunday. So if you're new here, then don't forget to subscribe and also hit the like button and leave a comment. See you then.